right, we're about to do a chemical straightening relaxer. What is that? A chemical straightening relaxer is when you take extremely curly hair to a straight formation permanently. And we're going to use that with a chemical called sodium hydroxide. Virgin relaxers or relaxers, there's different types of hydroxides that are used, but the most common is sodium hydroxide for professionals because it has the longest shelf life. They have calcium hydroxide, guanidine hydroxide. That's for people with sensitive skin. You do need an activator to do that. But because we're using sodium hydroxide, it is already mixed up for us. All right, anytime you do a virgin, V for virgin, virgin means that this hair has not had a relaxer before. That's all it means. All right. So when you see the hair and you see this triangle, you might be saying, what is that triangle? What is that? The triangle is a subsection. So as you can see here, when I hold up a subsection, what does it look like? It looks like a triangle, right? Upside down, up right here. All right. So when you do a virgin relaxer, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start in the back of the head. The reason why you start in the back of the head is because it is the most resistant to go straight. It's the strongest hair. All right? You're going to start in the back. And then when you subsection it, you're going to start in zones 2, all the way around the head. After we do zones 2, then we're going to go to 1 and 3. If somebody's hair is extremely, extremely virgin, then you're going to do 2 and 3 at the same time and then go back to 1. Guess what? She's virgin. So I'm going to do 2 and 3 and go back to 1. The reason why we're going to wait for 1 is because sodium hydroxide, it is the highest on the pH scale. So it's sitting at a 12.5 to a 13, which means it's extremely strong, right? So we want to put it towards the scalp last. I am going to put on my glove. And we're going to start off with protective basing. Let me put her section back up. You might be saying, why don't I have on my other club to put on the protective base? Because what happens is when you put on your glove, you lose feeling and you end up putting the protective base everywhere but where it's supposed to go. So I'm going to use my bare fingers. And I'm going to go all the way around the hairline. And you also want to include the ears. Go all the way around the hairline. And what this is doing, it is protecting the client from irritation, aka chemical burns. Now I'm going to put on my other glove. I'm going to work my way here down. Your subsections always about a ½ an inch to an inch. That's going to depend on the density. And remember, we said we're going to do zones 2 and 3, then 1. So that means I'm going to leave zone 1 should only be a ½ an inch to an inch. And I'm going to apply it all the way down the strand. All the way through the ends. Remember, I decided to go through the ends because her hair is virgin. She needs as much time for the ends as she does that zone 2. But let's say somebody's zone 3 was very weak. It was extremely porous. You would leave zone 3 alone. You want to do the front and the back. You can always put up a barrier. If you don't want that hair to touch or if that hair is extremely long. But I think we're working it out just fine. And I'm going to do this all the way. throughout the entire head. And remember, once you go all the way throughout the entire head, zone 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, you go back, smooth it, and then we're going to do zone 1. All right, so we went throughout the head and we did zones 2 and 3 and left 1 alone. So now what we're going to do is we're going to subsection through each section, okay? Subsection means a section within a section. And I'm going to take my fingers and I am going to smooth. This is all before you go to zone 1. Smooth. Flip it over. This is working the product in, warming it up. And it also allows you to be able to see that curl pattern start to dissipate. In order to have a really good, healthy relaxer and somebody has lengthy hair, you want to relax it to about 80-85%, never 100%. It'll lose too much of that strength in the hair strands. You're busting down those amino acids. You're killing off the disulfide, hydrogen bond, everything. So stop it at 85%. But now if you have a really, really short cut, go ahead and kill those bonds and relax it to 100%. Why? It's because it's a short cut. You'll be cutting it off before it has time to do anything. And I'm smoothing. All right, I'm going to do this all the way around. All the way around the head, I'm going to go back and do zone 1. When I do zone 1, it's very nice to, let me see if you can see that, to go ahead and outline your section. And now, open up the section and continue on completing zone 1. You want to make sure that the hair is extremely saturated. We have applied the chemical straightening relaxer, also known as that sodium hydroxide, all over the head. We did zones 2 and 3, smooth it, and then we went back to 1. So now I'm going to go back in and smooth some more. Now, it's very important to check on your client because this chemical is so strong. You want to make sure that the client is not irritated in any way. You can ask her, hey, do you feel any sensitivities? Sometimes when we use the word burning, they will feel burning. It's a mind thing. So say, hey, do you feel any sensitivity? Because if somebody's burning, even though you said sensitivity, they're going to say, yeah, it's burning. Okay? You want to smooth. And you go throughout the entire head. Once you go throughout the entire head with your smoothing, you're going to rinse it out thoroughly with warm water on the hotter side, but warm, not hot. Once you rinse it out completely, do not rely on your neutralizer to get rid of the relaxer. Water stops the process, so make sure you rinse it out thoroughly with water. And then you go in with your neutralizing shampoo. I will give you an extra note that if you're dealing with somebody with extremely long hair and they're getting a relaxer, do the back 2 sections first, rinse it out, and then do the top 2 sections. Otherwise, you will not get through the process. All right, and then you go to the front and to the front. All right, everybody, so we have completed a virgin chemical straightening relaxer. As a recap, virgin straightening relaxer, the chemical that is involved is sodium hydroxide. All right, when you are applying your chemical straightening relaxer, you got to remember this is your strand. There's zone 1, 2, and 3. Zone 2 is the longest length. Zone 1 is no more than a ½ inch, and then zone 3 is no more than an inch, okay? So you're gonna apply to zone 2 and 3 if they have the same resistance, smooth, and then you go back and apply to zone 1. All right, you guys, that's it. Virgin chemical straightening relaxer. Don't forget to rinse it out all the way, then apply your neutralizing shampoo, and then move on to a nice style. And don't forget to use your thermal protectant.